Right, so apparently I am live. Um, I guess I'll give people a little while to turn up. But yes, it is. It is another Sunday. Good evening, everyone. It's the last Sunday of the month, which has flown by, which is quite scary. And with it being the last Sunday, it means you get to talk to me live, which I'm sure is the highlight of everyone's month. So I thought about a possible theme for today, but I just decided to kind of let things happen naturally, depending on how many people turn up. So I guess I'll give it a couple more minutes. But yeah, I'm in a bit of a weird headspace today, so I'm not 100% sure how well this is going to go, but there you have it. Of course, you know, there will be some talk of lucid dreaming, as is the nature of the channel. And I thought maybe it would be fun to look over old dream journal entries at some point, find some good dreams, find some funny dreams, some failed lucid dreams, and so on. Maybe look at my first ever dream journal entry and see how my dreams have evolved and changed over the years. So I'll just wait a little bit longer, see who turns up. If anyone turns up. But, you know, it's been a bit of a weird month again. As I mentioned, last month was kind of a strange month. Hello, Mr. Map. Thank you, somebody. It's always good to have somebody watching. Yeah, it's been a bit of a weird month again. Last month was a weird month. This month has been a weird month. I haven't been sleeping very well. And again, I think it's probably to do with the heat. It's far too warm. Typically, you know, I'm not used to warm weather, so when I do get warm weather, it really messes with my sleep. I can't sleep. Although I have had quite a few lucid dreams this month, I've been quite lucky. And strangely, I've been getting lucid early on in my sleep. Like usually, the last few nights, the last week or so, typically like within the first hour of falling asleep, I've had a lucid dream, which is not a common thing for me. I'm not sure how common that might be for other people either. But yeah, it seems to me that I don't know, during these warmer periods, I don't know if my REM cycles are a bit different or what. But I've been sleeping, I'm finding it hard to sleep, but at the same time I've been sleeping a lot, so I you know, I'll sleep a few hours on a night and then I'll be awake for a few hours, and then I'll end up napping. I'll nap a lot when it's warm. Right, hello Creeper Wardo Games, and hello person with a name I don't want to say in case I say it wrong. But hey, thank you very much for joining me on this occasion. I wanted to talk a bit about the task of the month. Normally I kind of save it toward the end of the stream to talk about this, to give people a chance to turn up and talk about it if they took part in it. But it was quite an interesting task this month. The task was to speak to your authentic self, and this was a task that I did a few years ago that someone gave me the idea for when I ran a Facebook group called Lucid Dreaming Task of the Month. I still technically do run that group, but as with a lot of things that I do, people tend to lose interest, and that group, although it exists still, doesn't ever really get posted in. But the task was, yeah, to find your authentic self, and I guess that means, you know, your true self, however you want to interpret what that means. And when I did this task a few years ago, the answers I got were really bizarre. Like, the first time I did it, and I asked to meet my authentic self, this sort of like very small mannequin appeared, and it was quite cartoony in the proportions of this mannequin. It had no face, it was just this little mannequin, and that was literally all that was presented to me. And I don't know how I'm supposed to interpret that. The second time I did it, I was in this kind of shed that kind of was falling apart, and I remember there were holes in the ceiling and snow was coming through, and again I asked the dream to show me my authentic self, and this kind of little garden gnome came wandering along, and so I said to him, "What, can you show me my authentic self?" And this garden gnome just told me to piss off. And that was quite interesting, because that was the first time I think my dream had rejected me, or rejected my question, and I wasn't sure how to handle that. So, you know, I never really found an answer to that question. So for this month, I kind of wanted to have that task again, and, you know, see what answers I got. And I'm quite lucky. I've had maybe about 7 or 8 lucid dreams this month, and in the majority of them, I have tried asking that question of my authentic self. And at the beginning of the month, quite early on, I was having a dream, and it was a bit of an anxiety dream. Like, the whole time I felt like something wasn't right. In the dream, I was kind of walking around where I live, and it was sort of the middle of the night, and I was feeling quite scared, and I ended up in a field, and there were loads of people in the field, and I remember getting quite scared because there were a few dogs running around that weren't on leads, and they were kind of jumping around me, and you know, I was freaking out a bit, but the people nearby were saying to me, "Oh, don't worry, you know, they aren't going to hurt you or anything." So I was kind of hanging out with these people, and they told me that they that they were part of this meditation group, and they wanted me to go with them, and I thought, okay, that's pretty cool. And this sort of hole opened up in the floor, which led down into this kind of secret underground like temple, and I went with them, and I started to notice that this meditation group was turning into a bit of a cult, and I was getting a bit anxious again. And there was a priest who was preaching about something or other, and again I was feeling really uncomfortable, and I kind of said, "Look, you know, I don't really want to be a part of this." And as I was about to leave, I noticed that we had all teleported to this new area. We were all in the middle of a desert, and all the people in this cult were panicking for some reason and freaking out. And it was during all this kind of chaos that I realised that it had to be a dream. And so I became lucid, but I was struggling a bit to kind of control things, because all these dream characters were still really freaking out and like getting in my way. And I remembered that I wanted to find my authentic self, although I didn't word it that way. I think I basically asked the dream, you know, who am I? And then someone hit me in the face. And you know, I didn't get to see them initially, but when I saw them, it was me. And that was a bit weird, that I had just hit myself in the face. And as I was about to engage in a fight with this manifestation of myself, I noticed my own reflection in the mirror, and I was really dark and really shadowy and I guess evil. And that confused me because it was like, is my true self the evil side of me? I was I was I was the dark part of me in this instance, and this other version of me who looked pretty normal was trying to fight me. And it was weird because I thought, I don't really want to fight myself if I'm the bad side, because, you know, if I win the fight, has my bad side won? Anyway, it was a bit of a weird one. And from then on, I had similar kind of dreams. I had another lucid dream. I was in like this underground cave. I asked to meet my authentic self. I got hit with a minecart. That was it. And then later on, you know, I've had similar dreams of asking that question again and being confronted by loads and loads of mirrors, all showing me different parts of myself. And the latest one again was, you know, I asked about my authentic self in a mirror, and it just got very, very dark. My eyes went pitch black. My whole face kind of went weird, and so I'm being a bit creeped out that in all of these instances, my authentic self seems to be very dark, and it seems to be the negative part of myself, which is what I don't want to be, my authentic self. So I'll probably continue to do like that in my own time and explore that further, but I've just always got answers that didn't really make a great deal of sense. So I met my authentic self one time. I was just walking in my dream and I just met myself, but it turned out that I really am a bitch. Yeah, well, it turns out that I seem to be a pretty horrible person too, so hey, we're both in the same boat there. I have trouble with motivation, and I don't know why I want to, but I always say tomorrow, and I don't know why. Yeah, motivation is a difficult one, and not necessarily just in terms of lucid dreaming, but in terms of everything. I struggle with motivation with pretty much everything. Um, in those moments when I'm struggling with lucid dreaming, I try to remember why I got into lucid dreaming, what it was about lucid dreaming that initially got me so excited about it. Usually, like making lists of things that I want to achieve in a lucid dream helps with motivation. But yeah, it can be a difficult thing, like to get excited about at times. And hello, Dutchick. Hello, thank you for joining us. I tend to have that too, especially when I'm trying to wild. Yeah, I lose motivation with wilds quite easily. I've been trying to do wilds more recently, and I think I just get too tired. Like, I'll wake up and I'll usually stay awake for a bit, but I don't know, I think I'm always just a little bit too tired to care, you know, and it's so much easier to just go to sleep. But I guess that's the challenge of it, really. And I still haven't quite got my timing right with wilds. Just waking up at the right times and stuff. But yeah. The second part of the task of the month was like for the more beginners, and that was to just be aware of your dream signs and see what dream signs appear the most. For me, this month, my dream signs have mainly been feeling really out of place and uneasy. Just this sense of something never being quite right, or the people around me being kind of strange and unfamiliar. That's definitely been like the main kind of dream sign I've had this month. Other than that, usually like video games, like usually like a Grand Theft Auto style video game dream is what I'll have. But yeah, I guess what's interesting about that is my main dream signs haven't been like weird things as such. It's always been a feeling It's always been like an uncomfortable feeling. So I guess something for me to focus on is just to be aware of my feelings during the day, and if I ever get that sense of something being out of place or weird, then it would be a good idea to do that. Particularly because I do have moments of feeling like everything around me isn't real. I often, oh god, my brain has gone blank. Yeah, I often wake up. I wake up a lot with this sensation of not really being awake. Of somehow I've woken up in a completely different world, and even though everything looks the same and the people are the same, something isn't quite right, and it's a bit of a not a very nice experience, really. Actually, the first time I actually noticed a dream sign, it isn't like I had something that showed up in a crazily amount, like something I do regularly in a dream once a week is normal. Okay. Yeah, I think obviously dream signs are quite personal things, and I'm really sorry, like my brain sometimes completely just stops me when I'm in mid-sentence, so I apologise if I do that a lot today. I was wearing dresses a lot. I never wear dresses. I'm too clumsy and they are too uncomfortable. I would have to agree with you there. One of my dream signs seems to be a Dragon Ball Z character showing up but never talking or anything. Always in the background. That is weird. I don't really watch it a lot. Yeah, I get kind of strange things like that where things like something that maybe I thought about a month ago suddenly appears in my dreams. You know, it seems to never be. I've always found that, you know, if there's something I'm thinking about a lot, it never seems to end up in my dreams. Whereas if there's something I thought about once for like a couple of seconds randomly, that always seems to end up in my dreams. I used to notice that a lot when I was younger because obviously before I knew about lucid dreaming, um, I I used to want to oh god, I always wanted to control my dreams, but I never knew about lucid dreaming. So what I would do is I would figure out what things appeared in my dreams on a regular basis and how often I thought about those things in waking life. And again, it was that thing of if I really wanted to dream about something, I made sure I didn't think about it that much because it was always just the random little things that were like passing thoughts that ended up in my dreams and not things that I was actually thinking about. So that was quite difficult to do because I'm wanting to dream about a certain thing, but I needed to make sure I didn't think about that thing a lot. I don't know. One of my dreams, oh, I've already read that one. I'm having trouble with finding dream signs because my dreams are all over the place. Yeah, that can be quite difficult as well. I think like sometimes with dream signs, it's not necessarily something that's weird. Like I always think that's kind of the information we have about dream signs is always if you spot a flying donkey, you know, stuff like that. Whereas in Stephen LaBerge's book, he puts dream signs into 4 categories, which are form, action, context, and inner awareness. And within those 4 categories are subcategories. And I used this a lot when I first started lucid dreaming. Actually, I will get my first ever dream journal and give you an example of this. So these dreams are actually really boring, so I apologise for that, but I'll show you what I mean about the dream sign categories. So, this was the first ever entry into my dream journal. I walked around Castleford with Jodie, only it looked like Leeds. We met with 3 of her new college friends. We proceeded to walk until we came to a suburban area when I realised I needed to go to college. I didn't know how to get there from Castleford and no one else knew. I got on the first bus and asked where it was heading. The female bus driver didn't seem to know but would not stop driving. Whilst driving, I noticed Cineworld and knew I was close, so I got off the bus and walked with Ali and Lindsay. The area was very different though. So yeah, like I said, really boring dream. But I wrote down the various dream signs that I noticed and like the subcategories of dream signs. So for example, the first one was form, and its subcategory was setting. And the dream sign was Castleford took the form of Leeds. So even though I was in Castleford, it looked like Leeds. Again, pretty boring, but you know. The second dream sign, again, was a form dream sign. It was setting, and the dream sign was Wakefield looks very different. I only recognise Cineworld. Cineworld's a cinema, for those who don't know. And the last dream sign was context. It was character place. Ali and Lindsay are from high school. I wouldn't hang around with them. I also wouldn't hang around with them in waking life. So the context there was they were out of place. Those characters were out of place from waking life. They wouldn't have been there. So again, you know, pretty boring, I must admit. I also used to write down things that I think might have influenced my dreams. So possible effects from the outside world. I had recently started college and was probably worried about getting lost. Cineworld was something I remember distinctly as I walk past that nearly every day. So, I also had my first but really small lucid dream about a week ago. Well done. No, well done, because I know it's always a pretty big achievement to do that, so hey. Oh, I spilt my drink. Let's see if I can find my first lucid dream. So yeah, here was my possible lucid dream, my first possible lucid dream. A weird dream where I actually questioned if I was dreaming. I then began to make things happen, but I don't believe I was lucid as it was not vivid at all and odd things happened that I didn't wish to happen. Now upon reflection I will say I was lucid because I kind of questioned if it was a dream. I was able to do things, but because at this time when I was learning about lucid dreaming, I didn't know there were various layers of awareness. So the fact that it wasn't very vivid and odd things happened that I didn't wish to happen, you know, I didn't think it was a lucid dream. But that was my first sort of semi-lucid dream that I had. So, you know, if you had anything like that, then yeah, it was well done. I got scared because I thought I woke up and was flying when I opened my eyes. Yeah, it's I used to get scared when I first got like my first maybe year of lucid dreaming. I would I'd panic a lot when I'd get lucid, and I don't know why. It wasn't so much I was panicking because it was like, oh god, okay, I'm lucid, I need to do something. I just seemed to get scared when I got lucid for some reason. Maybe it was just the surrealness of the experience, the realness of it, that for some reason got me really scared. But I kind of learned to get over that as time went on. But I would say, like, for me, my biggest dream signs tend to be like feelings. Oh, what's happening? Oh shit! Hang on. Really sorry. Really sorry. Apparently, when I tell people I need the internet, they still go on the internet anyway, and prevents me from live streaming. But hopefully that shouldn't be a problem now. Wasn't even panic. When I became lucid, my vision went black, and I thought I woke up. Yeah, that's quite a common thing as well. I'm out of breath now, bloody hell. My vision used to go grey, actually. Not black, it went grey. And usually I would wake up after it went grey, but occasionally I would not wake up and I'd still be in the dream. But then I'd kind of forget. But yeah, no, I think, excuse me, that's a really good start. Have you been doing anything differently? Like, what do you think has contributed to you getting lucid? It'd be interesting to hear, how what you actually have been doing to get lucid. Yeah, and that's quite a good length of time for a first lucid dream. It was again, I think I'd been doing lucid dreaming for a while, and it was always just like, every time it was always like maybe 5-10 seconds, and I'd have to cram in as much as I could in 5 seconds, which, as you probably know, isn't a lot. So I was a slow starter when it came to that. I'm so happy that I didn't panic or anything during my first lucid dream. Just lasted like 10 minutes. 10 minutes. So that's another. I keep saying that's an interesting thing. No, but it is. Time in dreams is always interesting. I need to think of another word for interesting. Because it's hard to really know how long you're in a dream for. Because I've had lucid dreams where it has felt like a good hour, and there's no chance it was an hour. No chance. But it just seems to have lasted. It feels like it lasted that long. I've managed to get so much done in that time, and it feels like it has been a good hour. But you say yours yours felt like it lasted 10 minutes at least. I mean, that's really good. That's really good. And then the alarm went off. I have that problem with the cat, who seems to like waking me up. I also have a separate bedroom to my partner because I sleep better on my own. I can't sleep with another person around. So I'm quite normally I've got all the time in the world and all the space in the world to dream, but no, the cat always comes along. I think it was one of those. I stopped for a while. Right. Okay. Yeah, I think taking some time out and not putting so much focus into lucid dreaming can actually be pretty good. Like, that can really help. It can really boost things. Occasionally, if I'm finding myself getting frustrated towards lucid dreaming, I'll just make sure I'll just stop. Maybe give it a few days, maybe give it a week, and then just see how I go. But I'm quite lucky now that, although I'm not a natural lucid dreamer, and I've had to learn, and I've had to, put in the practice, and I still have to practice. I don't have to do as much, and sometimes I will just seem to lucid dream naturally. So yeah, I'm quite lucky there. It felt like 10 minutes. I don't know if it actually was that long. I did do a few things, not like a crazily amount of things. It's still good. It's still definitely good going. I just started writing a short film about lucid dreaming, by the way. Nice. That sounds really cool. yeah, I'm definitely interested in that, and would want to see how you do that. I've been thinking more about doing animations. Problem being just that it takes a lot of time, and doing it all by yourself as well is definitely very time consuming. When I did the All Is Dream rotoscope animation, I had a lot of fun with that. But I guess it's it, it was very time consuming, but it was quite an easy technique, so um, I didn't really mind doing that. But I recently went through some of my old animations, because part of I did video game design at college, and part of that was animation, and I did a pretty terrible animation about lucid dreaming, um, and I've been wanting to remake that now. I did start remaking it maybe like 2 years ago, but gave up. But now I'm really kind of wanting to do that again. Just doing like more like creative stuff. Like, I like making videos about lucid dreaming, but I feel like I need to be doing something more creative, I suppose. Do something a little bit different. To be honest, I just started writing 15 minutes ago. Well, at least you've started. At least you've started. What can I say? That's more than what I've done in some instances. But yeah, I'd definitely love to see what you do with that. Absolutely. I've started putting more effort into my other channel, my art channel, because that was pretty bare, and I'll probably end up doing some sort of animation for that at some point. If people are interested in that channel, then of course I would greatly appreciate checking it out and subscribing or whatever. But yeah, the sun is very annoying. So I might just have another glance through the old dream journal, see if there is anything of interest. See, what I love about reading through, like, this is my first dream journal, and starting from September 2010 all the way up to January 2014, later dream journals have usually, later dream journals have usually got more dreams in, because I mean, 4 years worth of dreams in there, it's not really that thick. But to begin with, I really didn't fill it out that much. But it's really fascinating reading back, because not only do dream journals really help with dream recall, but I love having that record there of dreams. It's like a real life. It's like a real life journal, I suppose. Although I've never kept like a proper journal or diary, because whenever I have kind of tried to keep a diary, I always read back on it and find it really cringy. So I don't like keeping diaries and stuff. But seeing how my dreams have evolved, seeing the kind of themes from like 3, 4, 5 years ago, and seeing how real life events have like formed my dreams, just seeing like how things have changed. It's always, I love reading back on dreams. There's sort of a feeling of nostalgia as well. So just keeping a dream journal for that alone, I think, is great. Like, I know a lot of people who aren't lucid dreamers who keep dream journals. So, I mean, I probably should have like picked some dreams out before I started streaming. But yeah. Wait, you have an art channel? Yeah, I have an art channel. It's not, I mean, I haven't really done much on there. Hang on, I will link you through. Voila. Yeah, because I was going to do more time-lapse videos, but the problem that I have is when I know I'm being filmed, I can't do anything. Obviously, I've got better at being on film like this and talking to a camera. Like, I watched some of my earlier videos from like even 6 months ago, and there's a massive difference. But it's the same with like musical instruments. Like, I play a lot of instruments, I can play them well. As soon as there's a camera on me or another person is watching, I just completely forget how to play, which is really annoying. But it's the same with doing like time-lapse videos or any kind of videos where I'm drawing. I'm hyper aware that I'm being filmed or being watched, and I just can't do it. But I'm trying to get over that. I'm trying to do more videos, more time-lapse videos. May end up doing tutorial videos. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I'm too lazy to really keep a diary. Tried multiple times. Really had a few that lasted like a week, all spread over my life. Do the right thing, but yeah. Yeah, I also found when I was keeping a diary, I was pretty much just writing the same stuff every day because nothing new and exciting was happening, and they basically just end up becoming like me complaining and whining about everything, and or being really pretentious. I realise I have a habit of doing that. And also as well, like, even though it's my diary and I'm the only person who's going to read that, I focus more on, I don't know, it's like I write it as if it's this grand novel. I don't know. So no, I've never been good at keeping diaries or anything like that. Although I might try again. But I've always had a lot of value in dream journals. Absolutely. So, oh god, this is a really horrible dream. But I'm gonna read it to you anyway. I'm just remembering it's one of my earlier dreams, and again I've written down my dream signs. But anyway, all through the dream I had a strong feeling of distress and paranoia. Lots of people were out to get me, though I could never see who they were. I was sat in my mum's car. When Mum got out for a cigarette, another car smacked into ours, trying to injure me. I then proceeded to drive off at full speed. At one point I was all alone and had to run home. My street and house were completely different. I had never seen this place before. I got in hoping Joe would be there, but all I found was a note saying he was at a gaming tournament. At one point Mum's friend, whom I had never met before, had suffered from a bad fall and her head was smashed in. My mum was crying and trying to help, but couldn't move her. I went up to my room, and Holly came in and said that I couldn't tell Mum, but she was pregnant and she wasn't telling Richard. This left me feeling uneasy, so Holly being my sister, and Richard, her ex-boyfriend now. But my dream signs in there were inner awareness, and the subcategory was emotion, and that emotion was this constant feeling of distress and paranoia. The other dream sign being form, the subcategory being setting, and just the fact that everything was different, like my street was different, my house was different. And possible effects from the outside world, a build-up of worries over a period of time. So yeah, I remember that dream really. We're going back 6 years now. Maybe, yeah. And I remember that dream really vividly. Just, anyway. Do you think it's sufficient to just write down some keywords in my journal? I think if you're purely going for like dream recall, I guess so, because there are times when I will just write down a few keynotes, and I find that to be enough. I'm still able to recall dreams. Um, but yeah, if that's, I kind of think if that's all you're able to do at the moment, then making sure you write down those keywords is definitely important. I literally have one really cringy one while I was having this really bad crush at age 13, where I, for like 4 weeks, wrote down everything I remembered this guy did. Also, heartbreak, or since he got a girlfriend. The relationship with this girl, how did my crush lasted 3 days. Yeah, no, I actually recall a diary from around that age as well, where, yeah, I kind of did that. I kind of obsessively wrote about a person and every little thing that I saw them do. Which was kind of a creepy thing. Didn't seem creepy at the time. Seemed creepy upon reflection a few years later when I ripped that diary up, because I didn't want anyone to ever find that. But yeah. Let me just check what I was going to say. So, yeah, it's oh, before I forget, I am on this Kik group about lucid dreaming with lots of other people. Anyone interested? I don't really know what Kik is, so you'll have to forgive me for that. You'll have to tell me what that means as well. But I would be interested. Like I recently started posting stuff on the lucid dreaming subreddit. Again, Reddit was one of those things that I never really understood. I actually think we have a subreddit for Team Lucid Dream, which I've never actually checked because I didn't really know what you were supposed to do on Reddit, but I've started posting on there now. Yeah, I thought Kik was a sort of messaging thing, but I wasn't really sure like how it works. Same with Snapchat. I do have Snapchat. I don't know what to do with it. I know you take pictures and people can see them for like a day or an hour or something. But I sort of think I don't know what I don't know what I'd take pictures of. I don't really know what would be an interesting. I don't know what people would actually want to see. So I don't use Snapchat. I typically just stick to like Twitter or Facebook. Otherwise I get confused. Thank you, yes, thank you for letting me know that we have a TLD subreddit with all the videos are on there. That's good to know. That's good to know. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, just quickly to talk about other things. I've had a bit of a weird month. It's hard to describe really, but I've just sort of been a bit off. Been struggling a bit. Hang on, I'm gonna close my door because it keeps blowing open in the wind and I don't like it. Yeah, I've just had a bit of an off couple of months, and it's hard to describe really. I just haven't felt here, if that makes sense. I've just felt very dissociated. I never know how to say that word. I've just been very out of my body in a way. And it's made it really hard to get things done. Like this month, like I pretty much filmed all of my videos in bulk, so that like when I was having a good day, I just thought I'll film everything, plonk it on, then I don't have to worry about things. But my head's just been in a really weird place, And a problem I have with that is like my energy levels just completely disappear, and I'll sleep for like a really long time. I don't have the energy to actually physically do anything, which is difficult, really. And I'm trying to get help, but the our healthcare system at the moment isn't doing so well. Once upon a time, if I was having a lot of distress, I'd go to my GP and they'd be able to refer me on to somebody. But now that doesn't seem to be the case. I've been passed around various mental health services, and every time they always say that they can't do anything for me at the moment. It's one of those situations where it's I'm either too crazy or not crazy enough. So I've had a pretty difficult couple of months, to be honest. Quickly checking what you're saying. Right. Yes, if you can send a link, I'll be happy to check it out. So it's an app for a smartphone, like WhatsApp without phone number. Yeah, again, that's another thing, WhatsApp. I had that for a while, and then had no use for it. But I'll have a look at Kik. Thank you very much. Oh, another big thing. I mean, it's a big thing for me. I'm not sure how interested you'll be. Is I submitted some artwork to this thing called the Luxembourg Art Prize, and it's a pretty major deal. You submit your work, they pick out some finalists. The finalists get there's a sort of art gallery exhibition, and then from the finalists they choose a winner, and the winner gets, I think, 25 grand in euros to set up their own like solo art exhibition, and everything's paid for, hotels, flights, and all that. And I saw an advert for it on Facebook, and it was literally like the day before the deadline, and I kind of spent a lot of time thinking, is it worth submitting? Obviously, there's going to be a lot of people who do it. Am I even going to have a chance? And I decided to go for it because I figured, well, like, if nothing happens, then nothing happens, but at least I pushed myself to do something. It cost like 50 quid, which, I wasn't happy about, but it doesn't matter, I guess. But I think I definitely need to push myself to do more of those things, like competitions and all of that. So I'm quite excited about that. I think it's about 4 days, I think, maybe, until when we find out who the finalists are. So fingers crossed, but I'm not overly hopeful. But I mean, that would be pretty amazing if that actually came to light. That would be pretty amazing. Everyone uses WhatsApp. Even my mum uses it. She can't figure out Facebook. Well, I kind of, with WhatsApp, it was like, I might as well just text people. Or like message people through Facebook. I felt like I didn't need another service. I could do everything that I wanted to do. And also, because I'm not very sociable. There's not many people I really talk to. But maybe that's something that I need to start doing more. So texting costs money. Well, I suppose, yeah, unless you've got a phone plan that allows for however many free texts. I don't know how many free texts I get, but I never run out. So yes, that's very true. Oh, bloody hell, the cat's in here. I didn't even realise. Hello. Hello, are you gonna say hello? Come on. No, you're not gonna say hello. All right. Go away then. Hey, John. Thank you for being here. Yeah. No, I was nervous about it, and obviously, you know, the being a bit tight with my money, didn't really want to spend 50 quid, but I guess if I won, that would be nothing in the grand scheme of things. If I won. But yeah. I guess what else do I need to bring up at this point? I have set up a Patreon account, and I know you're all thinking why. Because obviously I realise in terms of YouTube, I'm virtually well, you know, I'm not a big YouTuber, or I don't have a massive audience at the moment. But I thought I'd just set it up to see. And my Patreon is kind of not just aimed towards like my YouTube stuff. It's more or less aimed towards my art stuff, because that's kind of the main thing that I do. And again, I kind of figured, you know, what have I got to lose? If people don't want to support me on Patreon, then they don't want to support me on Patreon. And you know, whatever money I do get, however big or small, is something. The cat wants to leave now. So yeah, I mean, I will link you to my Patreon account, and it's not because I expect you to give me any money, but it's just there in case you want to check it out and see what things I have available. But yeah, because again, I think I said this last time, I don't really like to say fans or followers because it feels a little bit grandiose. But my audience on Facebook is like, I've got 11,000 people that follow me on Facebook, like my art stuff. So I figured somebody's gonna want to support me, right? Although the weird thing is, like, the majority of people who follow me on Facebook are from Indonesia, and I don't understand why. I'm obviously doing something right in Indonesia. But yeah, you know, I've set up Patreon. If people want to do it, then that's great. If people don't want to, that's also fine. I understand that, you know, we don't have a lot of money, and there are plenty of people, I'm sure people would prefer to support on Patreon. You know, so like, honestly, I don't mind either way. But yeah, that's one thing. But I'm definitely gonna be trying to focus on doing more stuff on my art channel. Obviously, I'm gonna continue doing what I do on this channel, but it's just been a bit of a struggle recently. Like, just where I am mentally, it's been a massive struggle. But I'm gonna soldier on. I'm gonna continue to do it. I will download Kick, and I will message you. Let me make sure I right. I'll make sure I get your thingy username. That's the one. Maybe went around through some Indonesian high schools. Things tend to spread fast in these places if it kicks off. Well, yeah, like I've done. Like, I'll occasionally, you know, advertise through Facebook. And obviously, you know, when you're advertising, you choose people that you want to target. And at first I started off with just like England, Canada, United States, mainly kind of English speaking countries, and got a few likes here and there, and then I slowly started adding other countries in just to see the difference. And I put the adverts out in Indonesia. For some reason I just thought of a random country, Indonesia, and all of a sudden I got all these like likes and people responding, and it was like, okay. And yeah, for some reason now it's a lot of Indonesian people seem to like my art page. Serpens, hello. I literally just woke up from a lucid dream. That's awesome. What did you do in your lucid dream? I'd love to support you, but my parents won't let me. I'm only 50. Hey, it's fine. Don't you worry about it. Don't you worry about it. What time are we on? I've been doing this for almost an hour, so I'll probably stop soon because I've been talking for far too long. I've just checked my emails and I've got an email from OkCupid, which I didn't even know I was on. I don't. Why am I even on it? Well, I don't like any of the people it suggested. It was my first wild, fantastic, and it was completely accidental. I didn't really do anything. That's pretty awesome, though. First wild. My wilds tend to usually be by accident as well, which I have been trying to do more wilds. Have I already said that? But yeah, that was something I've been focusing on, was to try and do more wilds. Kind of had some success. Typically, I'd say it's like 80% of the time I just fall asleep. The other 20% I get lucid. So yeah, I think there was a period of time when my relationship was on the rocks and everything was falling apart. My way of dealing with that was to sign up to OkCupid to feel valid and that people could actually love me. And oh, hit myself in the nose. And yeah, I thought I'd got rid of my account, but there you go. Can you check my name, or do you have to share it again? No, I can't speak. No, it's okay. I came up with a technique on the spot while dozing off and it worked. What technique was that? We must know. You know what? Whilst you're doing that, I'm gonna have a look for kick. I always get paranoid when I'm installing apps. You know, when it wants access to your camera and your microphone, I start to get a bit paranoid. Oh, insufficient storage. Right, I'll have to sort that out. This is obviously very boring. You're watching me sort my phone out live, which nobody wants to watch. So yeah, I mean, we're coming up to an hour. Oh no! Oh no! What do I chew now? Oh no! Do you guys have any cool but not too complicated, like a dream on Mars or so dreams for my script? Well, you know what, that's interesting, because how about for the task of the month, we try and come up with a script to help you. So in our lucid dreams, we will try and find something for you to write about, if people want to do that. Alright, so I was just thinking to myself that I would try to ask the name of people around me in the dream, and since I don't know them, it would trigger lucidity. But I accidentally remained lucid instead. Okay. My dreams aren't that interesting, but I need something cool. John just wanted to say that the dream where you asked to see your true self, the dark you, was the dreamer you, and the real you was the vibrant you that hit you to say, hey, I'm the real you. That's a pretty good interpretation. It's obviously more positive than my interpretation, which probably says a massive thing about me and how I view things, usually from a more negative point of view, and you from a more positive point of view, which is pretty cool. That would be awesome. Yeah, so you know what, if people want to try and do that, you know, just have a lucid dream and try and create some kind of story or something interesting in the lucid dream that you could potentially use for your script. Vanderschaff. I'm just gonna call you Vanderschaff, if that's okay. Why are we screaming? Because it is exciting, and I want to help. And I'm definitely gonna do that. I'm doing that. Oh no, I'm doing that as the task of the month. I know a lot of people people who don't watch this live stream might be very confused when I say we're helping Vanderschaff with a dream script, but bollocks to it. Bollocks to it. Oh, and also, Max, this makes 3 lucid dreams this week, which is a new record for me, I think. Well done there, absolutely. That is a, by anyone's standard, that is pretty damn good. I think that's probably the most I've had in a week. It's 3, probably. Even if I didn't really try to have a lucid dream, it still counts. Well, it doesn't matter if you try to or not. If you have a lucid dream, it counts. It most certainly does count. So, with that being said, I think it's probably time to try and wrap things up. One thing I would like to say is I'm really happy that people turned up to the live stream. It always warms my heart, which is quite difficult because I'm very robotic, and I didn't even know I had a heart. But yeah, I always I really do appreciate. I appreciate that people watch my videos in general, to be honest. So thank you very much. Right, I'm gonna write everyone's kick doodah, and as soon as I is that not how you pronounce it? Because it sounds like it should be pronounced that way. But yeah, as I said, always appreciate people liking my stuff. Always appreciate people watching my videos, my artwork, anything that I do. It's always a really nice feeling that people care enough to do that. So yes, the live streams are fun. You aren't robotic. Well, thank you again. It does mean a lot. I know I sound sarcastic, but that's because that's just how I am. So yeah, I will make sure when I do the task of the month video for July, that's definitely that's the task. That's the task. So yes, yeah. Never know how to end these things, to be honest. But yeah, once again, thank you very, very much. I will sort space out on my phone, I will download Kik, I will add people. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I have been Max, aka the RaRa Rabbit, and I'll see you in the next video.